Hello? Oh, hi, darling.
Half a world away, another day. So let's go play on the moon. It's a starry place. We embrace the space while we're miles away on the moon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Sunday with me, your host, Kelly Keegs. I am coming to you from this studio. I got to explain a little bit about the name. I went in there. I tried to do a big new intro, being like, "You are now on the line." Yes, the show is now named On the Other Line. I'm losing my mind, Gia. We have to talk about this because I feel like I can't continue without talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an insanely frustrating process.
Yeah, it's throwing me off. It threw off my intro. I didn't even think about the intro until I was about to give it. And I was like, oh, wait, no, I have to say it differently. You are now here on the other line. That is the name of the show now. We've had a little bit of copyright issues going on back and forth. We're fighting. We're doing this. We're doing that. We just decided to make our new name On the Other Line because that is what you are. The stars that are watching the show. You call in. And when you call in around 8:15, the number is 888-STOOL22. Today, we are talking about work. We're here to complain about work. We're here to say nice things, bad things, your boss, your friends, whatever the fuck you want to talk about when it comes to work. That is what we're talking about today. So I would like to set the mood right away, Gia. Gia, I have a question for you. How many jobs have you had in your life? Like, have you?
This is an embarrassing question for me because I've literally only had like 2 jobs.
Okay. I mean, that's
worked
fine.
As a waitress at my mom's restaurant for like about 6 months.
Okay. Love that.
And then I was a nanny on and off, and then I also interned at like a online newspaper for like 3 months in the summer.
That's a good job too. Online newspaper. I feel like everybody in their life has like interned at an online newspaper, like, or a website or something. That's always a great jumping point for anything you like want to do in media. So that's interesting too. I think that you have skills that I don't have, having worked at a restaurant. I have never even attempted.
True. It does take a lot of like, I was gonna say self-control, but just like being able to deal with people all day, especially like in a town where it's just like asshole people.
Yes.
They're like, oh, my bacon is not crispy enough, you know, and you're just like, I want to throw the bacon in your face, but I can't.
No, I have no patience for people like that, and I think that like there would be a point where I would probably lose my shift for sure and like get fired, blah, blah, whatever. But it's just generally like waiting on people, because people treat people that wait on them differently than they treat other people. So I would just be like, you're acting like a dickhead because I'm a waitress. Like, what's your problem? Like, I don't understand. I would take everything so personally. So, you know, kudos for that. I give you kudos for that. But did you have a good, at either of those places, did you have like a good work environment? Did you like your boss? Did you like your coworkers? What was the vibe when you were working?
I've never had like a job where I didn't like it. The one, like, it was my mom's restaurant, so it's like I knew everyone that was gonna work there.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, working with my mom wasn't exactly the best all the time.
Yeah, that sounds good and bad.
Responsibilities like somehow ended up my fault.
Of course.
But yeah, no, and even like all the parents that I've nannied for, I've never had like a horror story where a kid like hates me or like the parents are like really mean or something like that. So I've actually like lucked out.
Yeah, that is pretty lucky. That's some good shit. I want to start off this segment and this topic in general with my top 5. I'm trying to think how I would describe these. Like top 5 most significant parts of working, significant parts of your job. I'll run down the list real quick and then we'll go through it. Number 1 is your boss. Your boss is the number 1 thing that people want to talk about. Coworkers, your job location. Where do you go to work? Do you work on a tropical island? Do you work in the middle of a big city? It all depends. And your job description. What do you do? What is your job? Do you like what you do? Is it any good? And then, of course, the end-all, be-all, which is money, which I feel like is always a touchy subject when it comes to jobs. But I think I want to talk about bosses first. I think that that's a good one to kind of lead off with. I think that everyone has a boss, or everyone has had a boss where they kind of were like, all right, maybe this is how things are supposed to go, but I'm not quite sure. Gee, I feel like maybe even your mom, like your mom technically is your boss a little bit in that moment for you. But I think like, you know, it's your mom. So it's like things are a little bit different. I think that whenever you're faced with a bad boss, which I think up until my time here, I've had bad bosses almost always. Like I have had people that I've worked for that I've gotten along with, but not necessarily loved or like, I don't know, really felt like things were good. Like I was always complaining. There was nothing, nobody got by me without some kind of complaint. That's just a fact. Any boss, if you've been my boss, I've complained about you definitely a lot of times. Like it's just too much. And I think that a lot of people share that sentiment. I mean, they have multiple movies, Horrible Bosses 1 and 2, maybe 3, because people hate their bosses so much. So I think that's a big deal. Your coworkers. I think that coworkers are so important to making your life not miserable at work. I think that if you have a miserable boss, or if you hate where you work, what you do, whatever, your coworkers can sometimes be the ones that actually make going to work worth it. Make getting up in the morning and going into an office not like, you know, you don't want to blow your brains out. I have a picture. Gia, what did I put up? What did I do for a picture for this?
We got a good old quote graphic.
Oh yeah, okay. So I saw this and I was kind of laughing, but I'll read it out loud. While it's inevitable that you are going to do stupid things at some point, do yourself a favor and save those stories for brunch with your longtime girlfriends. And when your coworkers ask how your weekend went, tell them you were home with your cat watching Netflix. That's Kayla Buell from the Corporate Survival Guide for Your 20s. I've never seen this book or read this book, and I don't know who this girl is, but I was Googling today coworkers and coworker relationships, and this popped up, and I could not agree more about this. There is a fine line between your real life and your work life, and you have to have separate friends. Like, yes, you can have coworker besties. They can also eventually become some of your best friends. All of my best friends currently that live in New York, especially, stemmed from coworker relationships. Absolutely. But then, you know, jobs that I no longer have. Like that, my first job in New York, 2 of my best friends are in. My second job in New York, another 2 of my best friends. Like, you know, you pick and choose people as you go along. And I think that if you aren't careful and you tell too much about your personal life for these people, like that's the shit that happens. Like your coworkers get too involved in your shit. They know too much about you. They start to look at you differently. You have to have your coworkers looking at you like you're doing your work. You're doing a job. I don't know. It's really difficult. I have especially here at Barstool, I've been saying this all the time. I say this to people here too, that I think it's so important to have that separation between this place and like your real life and your real friends. And it's not that these people aren't my friends, but you just have to have people like outside of it that can bring you back down to earth. Let's see. I have job location as the 3rd. I forget what my little link is for this, Gia.
This is the 10 happiest jobs on the planet.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was Googling trying to figure out like what exactly about a job location is good. So I just kept Googling like what's the best job location, thinking geographically, and it just kept giving me like job suggestions. So I was like, who's the happiest at work? Like who loves their job? Who is excited about it? And this link tells me that just scroll down a little bit. This is pretty much right at the top. Construction workers. Construction workers are the happiest people, and I just
how is that possible?
I don't know, Gia. I cannot explain. Scroll a little bit more. There's like a 3-bullet thing, like right there. Yes, here's why.
I love how one says they go outside.
Yes, literally, that's all it says. My thing is in the way of that, but it says like they create. There's a high sense of camaraderie, and they go outside. That is what makes a construction worker job the best job to have in the world. And then there's this whole thing is like if you want a good job, you have to have those things. I mean, this article is crazy. Like all of these, unhappiest jobs I love. Security guard, garbage collector, cashier, accountant. Damn, I could have told you that an accountant was the worst job. So many numbers. I mean, I don't really get it. I don't ditch the fake work friends. What I just say, I told you, become friends with these people at your own risk. You know what I mean? Keep the clear boundary of separation. All right, yeah. I mean, I just this whole website kind of opened my eyes to something that I wasn't sure about. I didn't think that that we would be looking to construction workers for quality of life. I didn't think that, you know.
I guess
it's also
it kind
fantastic.
of makes sense. Just in this way of whenever it's a really nice day out and we have to go inside the office to work, I'm always like, ugh, like, you know, like when your teacher used to like let you have class outside, and that was like the best day ever. It's
right,
like,
of course.
I wish we could have work outside.
It would be nice to have work outside in the casual way. When I like see construction workers though, as I'm walking down the street or I'm walking to the office or whatever, especially when it's warm out, when it's nice out, all I think is how miserable it must be to be doing manual labor out in this like hot sun all day long. Imagine in the middle of the summertime when they have to like, I don't know, in New York, there's construction everywhere. So I feel like all I see are construction workers just like sweating their dicks off. I don't understand how they can do manual labor in the middle of the summer. Like they wake up really early and they do all that stuff. But that to me sounds like the worst job in the world. Like sure, wintertime, whatever, like you can bundle up and they're used to it. But the summertime, I think, is what really gets me about that.
Yeah, I agree
So
about that.
I don't even know. The next one would be job description. What do you do? This one I was looking just what are the most interesting jobs on Google. I just have a screenshot of the results because I thought it was hysterical. What qualifies as the most interesting jobs? And I think that, yeah, here we go. Zookeeper, park ranger, booking agent, wedding planner, horticulturist, staff photographer, event planner, and fashion designer. I'm not sure what makes these so interesting. Horticulturist, that's somebody who works with plants, so I guess I get that. Zookeeper, are people going to the zoo? Like,
I've said this, like when I retire, I want to be a zookeeper, like volunteer at a zoo.
I think that that's a sweet thing. Oh yeah, volunteer at the zoo, you get to hang out with the animals.
I think a zookeeper is so interesting. Just because like you get to like work so up close with animals.
Yeah, that's really true. I wonder if you have to have all kinds of like schooling to be a zookeeper.
Oh, yeah,
like I'm sure you have to have like, you probably have to be like a vet basically to
Probably. I'm pretty sure like zoology is a major like that you can have
for
at
sure,
school.
for sure. I remember going to school because I went to school down south and there was other schools that were a little more southern than ours. Obviously, I was only in North Carolina, but a lot of those classes that were closer to the water had these like zoology majors and classes and stuff. I assume because they have to be in the ocean and doing, I don't know. I'm not sure why exactly that was the case, but it felt like all the schools that were like an hour south of us were just doing zoo shit all the time. So that's nuts. Throw that list up there one more time. I want to see what else was on there. The most interesting.
All right, it's coming up.
Okay. The most interesting. I want to do one more quick look. I think that the zookeeper thing is crazy. The park ranger, that's again sounds miserable. It only makes me think of like, it makes me think of the movie Elf when the park rangers are running around. Booking agent, why? You book people's vacation. You don't get to go on your own vacation. Wedding planner, miserable. I don't know what people think that that's interesting for. Oh my God, a bridezilla all day long, every day, a million times over. Staff photographer, I feel like that would be fun actually, because you just get to go to a lot of weird workplaces. Event planner and fashion designer. I mean, yeah, I guess if you're famous, I don't know. I have gripes with this most interesting jobs list. So
where did you find it?
I just Googled the most interesting jobs, and this is what came up, like this. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I don't really know.
Wedding planner
I don't agree.
Could be very fun if you are patient.
That's true. Yes, if you're patient, if you're extremely organized, if you like are, you have a calm demeanor about you, sure, that's fine. But yeah, so the last thing we'll talk about, and I hope that people call in and bitch a little bit about this, is money. And I think that money just rules everything in like a work conversation. I think that everybody's always worrying about, oh, am I going to get a raise? Oh, am I going to get a bonus? Oh, I'm not getting paid enough to do this kind of work. It's like the easiest thing to complain about because no one feels like they're getting paid enough. Like no one looks at their bank account and goes, man, I'm getting paid way too much for what I do. Everyone's just like, damn, I really wish I could, level up my life a little bit. It doesn't matter if you're, me chilling at like a fourth floor walk up, or if you're a billionaire who is just like looking for the next thing. There's always one more level up that you can be at with money. And I just feel like no one's ever satisfied with that. I forget what my link is for this too. Gia.
This is 20 highest paying careers.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Bring this up really quick and then we'll go to commercial because I had such a fucking problem with this. Look at these highest paying careers in the world. Some of the titles I understand. The prices make no fucking sense to me. A lawyer only getting 140 grand, that is false. There is just no way that the average lawyer makes that much money. And if that's true, like call in and tell me otherwise because you are severely underpaid. Like that feels crazy. Here, keep scrolling. There's like 2 more. Marketing manager, 145. You're gonna tell me the average marketing manager makes more than a lawyer? Get the fuck out of here. I've never known anyone to make that much money as a marketing manager. A podiatrist, that's feet, right? 148,000. I mean, again, what? I don't know though. Maybe this is a little more in like doctor territory. Petroleum engineer. What does that even mean? Natural gases and oil. 154,000. I just can't imagine how any of these things are correct. Like I just don't get it. But whatever. I want to hear now from all of you guys when we come back from a break. If you want to call in after the break, the number is 888-STOOL22. Let's break this all down. All right, welcome back to On the Other Line. Oh my God, the new name, I swear to God. We have people all over this line. I will say this, I love this. I'm so happy about this. I knew people would want to complain about work. Let us start off with Ruth from Washington, D.C., who wants to talk about jobs and happiness and the construction workers like we mentioned. Ruth, can you hear me okay? Hold on, I can't hear Ruth yet. We're,
you should be able to hear now.
Perfect. Hi, Ruth, what's going on?
Hey, so I wanted to talk with you when you were talking about like construction workers and why they're so happy and all that. And I've worked in government for a long time.
Oh,
I think
so
the
you'll
reason
know.
why these construction workers, I think the reason why they're so happy is because they get to leave their work at work, right? They're not getting a text from their
True.
boss.
Oh my God, what a great point. That is true, right? You show up, you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the things I need to do today. This is all I can get done, and then you go home and do whatever the fuck you want. Oh my God, that's a great point. Great point.
Right. Yeah, and especially when you're doing government work, like your boss can text you at 10 p.m. on a Saturday. You're going to have to jump out of bed, do what you got to do. So being able to turn that off for me would totally change, the happiness quotient of stuff.
That makes complete sense. Have you ever had a job where you were able to kind of turn it off, or have you always been somebody that's go, go, go?
My current boss is wonderful. She totally respects the work-life balance and being able to have time with, boyfriends and friends and things like that.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm
great.
Super lucky where I'm at now.
Wow,
Yeah.
yes, seriously. Oh my God, so rare. That's such a rare thing for bosses to be like considerate of your personal time. That's incredible. Wow. But oh my God, Ruth, you are so correct about the construction worker thing. I didn't even think about that. I feel like there are a lot of jobs like that too, where you can just like go home and turn it off. Of course, and I'm sure do you work like in media or no, government you said, but what? I guess no.
Like
You can't tell me about like
that.
what the government. I was like, tell me your exact job in the government. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you all the secrets where the aliens are buried.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Totally...
Just give me a couple like codes to get into the building. I'll do some snooping around. You guys know I love to snoop. I just want to be in the know. I'm just nosy.
Exactly. No, listen, I'm not saying like the CIA is listening in on this call or anything, but I think they would totally recruit you. I think you are like top spy, quality material over here, just all kinds of trying to find out information.
I feel that way about myself as well. I one time went to a spy museum and I was told that I would be a very good spy. So I was like, wow, I already knew that, but thanks for confirming. And that's all that. Oh my God. Ruth, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate the call and great points made all around.
Y'all have a good one.
Thanks,
Bye.
you too. Bye. All right, let's get into Alex from South Carolina who works in HR. Oh my God, Alex, I am so sorry. What's going on?
Hey, Kelly, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I think I'm sick and twisted because I chose HR, which is maybe an interesting choice. But
Yes.
I left getting my master's, and they sent me down to a manufacturing plant in the South. And
oh my God.
like week 2 on the job, I get called in to go and call the women's state penitentiary to find out how to get rid of a crabs outbreak.
What?
That was happening on the toilets. Yes.
Oh
So
my God.
even HR, I don't know what's in our job description.
That's insane. I have never heard anything. I wouldn't say I'd never heard anything terribly good about HR. Like nobody's like raving about it, but people do like doing it and people like to be involved in that and helping people out. So I understand how it's like a job that people have, obviously, and it's necessary. The stories I hear that come out of HR of things that you never even would imagine in your life are fucking insane. And this is one of them. Like that's a truly insane story. So what did you have to do? Like how did you deal with that? I wouldn't even know the first thing to do.
I had no idea. I had to like sit with our like contracted like vendor for cleaning and like call the women's state penitentiary to find out how they get rid of that.
Oh my God.
I genuinely didn't even know that that was possible. That was a thing. So
I had
interesting situation.
I mean, that's truly insane. I don't even know how, like, I'm trying to think, health class, whatever, how you even get rid of crabs. Like, how, I guess, just like everybody.
It included pine sol, I think.
What? This is so insane. That's so insane. How do you even, like, I don't even know. And I feel bad for HR people all the time because they're strapped with all this shit, like, especially when there's someone that's working for you or there's someone that you have to, like, look over or whatever. It's crazy how if they're in a bad mood or if something bad happens, like HR is the ultimate threat. Like, I'm going to HR. Like, this is where I'm going to HR. I'm getting you in trouble. Sometimes it's like, yeah, you should definitely be going to HR. Other times it's like, this person's just complaining to HR,
Yeah, 90% of the time they just want to sit and like cuss you out and get through it, and then you deal with it on the other end. But I think I've got a book after 3 years of my career, so it'll be good. By the time I retire, I'll have an entire novel of all the ridiculous things people do.
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely keep writing them down because that's something that I want to read and that's something that I absolutely want to hear about.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for calling, Alex. That was fantastic. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Gia, what the fuck? That's outrageous.
I have no words.
That's outrageous. That reminds me of like, I've been rewatching Sex and the City again, obviously, because it's like a tri-annual thing that I do. And Charlotte just got crabs, and I kept thinking to myself, like, why am I hearing about crabs all the time? Like, why am I only ever hearing about it on Sex and the City? And now it's like coming up. I feel like they're coming for me now. Oh no. All right, let's see. Jillian. Ooh, I got Jillian from Long Island. Teacher job. Jillian.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. My mom says hi from the
What's
other
up,
room.
Eve? What's going on? How are you guys? My most loyal callers. I'm always so happy to see you on the queue here. But what's going on? You want to talk about a teacher job?
Yeah. Well, so I'm a teacher.
Oh my God.
It's exhausting. It's
yeah.
Insane.
That's a nightmare. No offense. That's a crazy nightmare. I don't know how you do it. Tell me about it though.
It's crazy because here I am, a 24-year-old in charge of the lives of these little elementary students. And I'm like, how is this happening? Like, how do I deal with this? But kids are like off the wall nowadays. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, did we act like this when we were kids? Because some of the things that these students do, I'm like, there's no way that this is happening.
I do not understand how teachers can do it. Like, I have never thought to myself, like, teachers have it easy or teachers can just do whatever. Like, even growing up, I felt like the teachers in my classrooms, there was always a bunch of assholes in the class that were treating the teacher like shit. And I never understood why, like, people are like that to teachers. Like, what's the deal about that? But I also am wondering, do you think, like, as a teacher now, do you think about when you were young and how your teachers were treated and now you like get their frustrations or get the way they were acting?
I do. Like, sometimes I think back, I'm like, was I like that as a kid? I'm like, there's no way I could have done some of the things that these kids do. Like, I've had kids like rip my erasers off and stick pencils up their nose.
Oh my God.
They like put buckets in my classroom and then everyone goes crazy. Like, we've had so many like fights in my school this past week. Like, it's insane. I'm like, there's no way that these are kids from the ages 5 to 11. And
I was just gonna ask, like, how old are these kids? I thought you said elementary school. Fights?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
what's like a 7-year-old fight look like?
It's all depends on what it is. It's mostly the older kids too. There's been like some fights happen. Like, oh my God, I'm like, this is not the area that we're fighting in. I'm like, it's so crazy.
That's unbelievable.
But, like, yeah, and it's crazy because you have to be like on at all points of the day. Like, once you like flip your switch, like they can tell. They're like, she's mad or like she's not happy with us.
And the kids, they just want to prey on that shit. I remember specifically in the 4th grade, I had a teacher who was always like on the verge of getting fired. I don't know if she actually got fired or what, but she would like always be going to have meetings, then coming back and putting her sunglasses on because she was like obviously crying. But we were all, these kids like, all right, we see that this is happening. We see that you're like crying and putting sunglasses on. We're old enough to know that something's up. Like, we're 10 years old. And so after that, we all just would whisper about what was wrong with her the whole rest of the class, like basically in her face. Yeah. And I always think to myself, like, damn, what was really going on with that lady?
I know, and it's crazy. Like, kids, even like from a young age, know that they're acting up. Like, the other day, I was like reading a story to a class. It's called The Bad Egg. So it's basically like, don't do bad things. Like, be a good egg, or like the bad seed, bad egg. And this one kindergartner was like, I'm going to be a bad seed, and like running around the classroom. Like, nope, you shouldn't be a bad seed. You're 6 years old. Like, make a change now so you don't grow up as an asshole once you get older.
Damn, that sucks. That sucks when the kid is literally like 6 years old and already declaring himself the villain. Like my brother was like that. My brother liked, not like that in school. My brother liked villains, and I also, like, not as much as he did, but I like them too, and I still do to this present day. But I feel like the people that like villains just like chaos, and they can't be, like, especially as kids, can't be tamed. They're just gonna run around, they're gonna do crazy shit, they're gonna do whatever. Oh my God, I can't imagine. How is it like dealing with parents? A nightmare?
It's a little scary. I mean, this is like my first year, like, really as like in the classroom as a teacher. So like parent phone calls are always like a little stressful. I'm like, hi, like, I'm 10 years younger than you, but this is what your child did today. Like,
damn.
Not good. Or like, it's good when you get to like positive calls and stuff like that. I'm like, it's good to like do like positive praises more than the bad praises. When you're calling in like, your student flipped all of my supplies in the classroom today, it's like, they're like, oh. I'm like, yep, like, your little Johnny boy is not as good as you think he is.
Oh my God. I would love to, like, actually, no, I wouldn't love that, because you know that the parents are always like, what are you talking about? That can't be true, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is false.
Perfect.
Like, not my child. Yeah, so that would be a nightmare. But I would love to be like, yeah, well, here's the proof that your kid actually is an asshole. So, like, you have to believe me. Oh my God. Jillian, thank you so much for calling. You, again, like I said, my most loyal listeners, you and your moms, thank you so much for calling and chatting with me about that.
Thank you. We love calling.
Fabulous. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Kelly.
Bye. All right, let's do one more call before we head to a break. This is Brad from Michigan, wants to talk about counteroffers. Ooh, in what way, Brad? What does that mean?
They're awesome.
Like,
so the
okay.
best part about a counteroffer, right,
Uh-huh.
is, you know, you go through like your reviews and they'll be like 2%, 3%, you know, that's all we can really afford to give you for a raise.
Okay.
But then as soon as you quit, the amount of money they can start offering you then is hilarious.
Wow.
So,
I've never had like the balls to do this. Like I'm so bad at negotiating with money. Like I don't think I've ever asked for a raise. Like I'm like too afraid that they'll be like, no, what the fuck do you think you deserve it for? You know what I mean? Pretty much, yeah. But I've never been
company person.
I've never felt like so underpaid that I was like, damn, this is crazy. But I just also like, I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid that they'll find somebody better.
Well, it's like, so one of the first jobs I had out of college, it was, you know, after a year it was, 3%. And they were like, well, what do you think about the money? And I was like, well, I want more. And they're like, yeah, you always do. And 2 months later I quit, and they come at you with 20%.
I mean,
took
that's
it,
crazy, yeah?
And I quit a year later, and they came back 20% again.
How do you keep coming back to this place? Like, is there no bad blood when you quit? Like, I feel like are you not like holding people hostage, being like, I'm quitting unless I get more money? Or,
no, well, see, it's not I'm quitting unless I get more money. It's just like, hey, I got a different job offer. I'm going to quit and I'm going to take it.
Oh, okay.
And if you're really good, like if they like you, because, I mean, there's somewhere it's like, yeah, if you're not, worth it, they'll just say, there's the door. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of times where you can get that extra money, and then you can start getting companies fighting over you.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to boost your income, especially earlier in your career.
That is so true. Damn. See, these are things that I wish I had like the confidence to do this kind of shit early on. Like I just was so afraid to ever, like I felt, and I still feel like if I get a job, I'm like, oh my fucking God, I am lucky as fuck to have this job. I'm not gonna make waves. Like I'm just happy to be here. Like that's always been how I deal with things. Like I'm just so afraid. I feel like where do you think along this life, like along this time, that somebody put all this pressure on like like you need the job, not the job needs you? I feel like people always say that the opposite way.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to flip back the other way now.
I think so too. I feel like more people say that. Like even you having this conversation so candidly, I'm like, yeah, I guess people do just do that shit.
I mean, I just started a new job like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I just left my last company after 4 years.
Damn, it's a long time too. 4 years. That's
yeah. I mean, it is fun because if you have a place that you hate too, but they know you're a good worker, just to make them like gravel and go back to finance, like, oh, I need more money and I need to offer it to them. When you know deep down you're going to say no anyway, that's also a great feeling. Yeah,
that is true. Kind of watching them scramble a little bit. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that, Brad. This is an interesting, this has my wheels spinning so much, this topic of conversation. I really did not think about counter offers with raises. Like, I just feel like there's, I don't know. I just feel like that's never been something that I've thought of, so it didn't even cross my brain. Brad, I appreciate you calling about this, because I'm gonna probably keep talking about it after the break especially. So again, Brad, thank you so much for calling. We're gonna go to a quick break. If you would like to call in after the break, the number is 888-STOOL22. All right, and welcome back again, back to On the Other Line. I'm your host, Kelly Keegs. We are talking about work, and if you want to call in about work, about your job, your boss, your coworkers, whatever it is that you want to talk about, go ahead and give us a call. The number is 888-STOOL22. We're waiting on a couple of calls right now, but Gia, I need to talk to you, I think, specifically about this like women's outbreak in the jail with the crabs. I can't get past it.
I don't think you could pay me enough.
I don't know. Right. Like, at what point is the job too much where you're like, I'm fucking quitting? Like,
And
this is
wait,
crazy.
Did she say?
Oh, I'll talk to you here.
Did she say what like kind of company she does HR for?
No, but I was thinking about that too, being like, what could you be? I mean, I guess
Because
like,
that's such an
or no.
insane thing.
The other girl was the government, right? She wasn't
Yes,
HR.
yeah.
She was just the government, not HR for the government. Because I feel like that'd be something that HR for the government would have to deal with.
That
Is like
is
going to
true.
a women's prison and dealing with that shit.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
she
even
does
know.
HR for like private prisons.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
even know. I just the whole thing to me sounds truly insane.
Yeah.
I think
that reminds me of like Orange Is the New Black.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, that's the only thing I think of, honestly,
Yeah.
when I think of women's prison at this
Like
point
just
is
like
Orange
a
Is the New
crabs
Black.
outbreak. I feel like that would be an episode.
Completely. I almost am claiming that there was an episode like it. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't there, maybe not crabs, but like, I
Some
feel like there was
sort of
some kind of
STD.
something, that
Yeah.
happened. So I don't fucking know. I think that that's insane. I think that guy's counteroffer conversation also has me spinning a little bit. I think that, would you like be brave enough to storm into your boss's office and ask for a raise? Like,
Absolutely not.
like there's just no way.
If I'm talking to like a higher up, I black out.
Same.
I literally, I like have this whole list in my head about like what I want to talk about, and then I get in there, I'm like, yeah, it's great, everything's great.
I do the exact same thing where I will hype myself up in my own room. I'll be like, listen, like this is our speech. This is what we're gonna say. We're gonna talk about this, and then I get there in person. I'm like, actually, I'm so happy with literally everything that's being done right now. There's nothing that I want to change. Like, just send me on my merry way. It's like, no, not quite.
Yeah, literally.
Damn. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever work up that kind of courage. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I was like way more assertive in the workplace, but yeah,
I feel that way too.
I think it's also because I'm like young, so I feel like
for sure.
I
Yeah, you have
shouldn't
time to be assertive. Like, yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't be like not asking for too much, but like I need to like know my place a little bit.
I have the exact opposite problem that you're having right now, being like, I feel like I deserve more because I'm older. I'm like, well, I'm older, so like that just doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't apply. That doesn't, like, nobody cares about that. But I always just like, well, I'm 30-something years old. Like, I should be making this much money because everyone I know is making this much money. Like, that's not how you like benchmark your shit. I also had a feeling that we were gonna get some teacher conversations tonight. I feel like teacher stuff is always like a hot button issue when it comes to work, how teachers are treated, how they deal with it.
it is. It's such a hot topic because like they're literally like the backbone of society, basically.
Yeah.
And they just don't get like any respect unless you like work in like a really nice private school. I feel like teachers just don't get like the respect that they deserve.
Right, they're just straight up abused like all the time. I'm like, how are you, how is this life even like this?
I know.
I don't think I could do it. I also think I know for a fact I couldn't do it. I think also back to when I was younger and how the teachers were so young. Like, I know my kindergarten teacher was like 23 or 24, probably fresh out of school, like whatever her deal was. And I was like friendly with her and it felt like old, like big sistery or whatever. But in my head, I'm like, was this bitch just hungover every day coming to work? Like, it had to have been, right?
I know,
like,
you never realize until like you're older and then you're like, oh, that's why they wore sunglasses into the room, like every day.
Completely. Like, they're wearing sunglasses, they're miserable being here. Like they're definitely hungover. They have to like sing with a bunch of kids all day.
I always
I couldn't do it.
cringe when I think about, not that I was mean to teachers, but like when you like fuck with a teacher.
Oh yeah, you're like
and
a
then,
smart ass.
They end up like crying or something.
Oh my God, yes.
There was there was nothing worse. So I took Chinese in middle school.
Damn.
And
damn, smart as fuck. Chinese in middle school.
Well, it was only because I very late decided to go to public school from 5th to 6th grade, and by the time that I wanted to change schools, every language was taken besides Chinese.
That's wild.
Which was fine because it definitely was. It was hard, but it was interesting to learn.
We had that in high school. High school, you could take Chinese, like it was an option. But middle school, it was only like French and Spanish.
Yeah,
you
we
could
had
only choose.
German, French, Spanish,
damn,
Chinese, and I think that's it.
Damn, what a curriculum.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
But yeah. So one day during class, like we were just being rowdy, and I think she must have been having a bad day, and she started to cry, and it was so awkward, and then she got really mad. And she slammed her water bottle, but the cap wasn't on the water
stop. No, stop.
So the water went straight into her face, and we just all could not like help ourselves but to die laughing. And she left the room.
Oh my God.
Another teacher had to come in to watch us, and like we got lectured so hard. But it was just like, we're 12 years old. You can't not laugh in that situation. But now when I think about it, I'm like, ugh. Like, that's so sad. Like, she must have had such a bad day, and we just made it 10 times worse.
Completely. And but you know what, though? As a teacher, you have to, especially if you have moments like that, like, if you're running around with a bunch of 12-year-olds, like, you got to laugh at something like that. Like, you can't, like, cry about it. It's crazy. I think that, I mean, of course you're going to cry. Of course you're going to be stuck in a moment at work where you're, like, miserable and whatever. But I just feel like it's, you know, it's really hard. It's really hard on all sides to, like, take it seriously because school's so insane. Also, I just want to talk about Gias. We're about to get on the phone again. I painted my nails last night. I did like that at-home gel I'm always talking about, right? Like I've talked about it on I'm looking at myself in the thing, looking at my own nails. I have talked about it all the time on my Instagram. I tell everybody to get it. This like at-home gel thing. It's from Amazon, whatever. Something has happened to the polish I've been using because as I just was talking to Gia, like one of my, it just fell off my nail. What the fuck is going on? And both my thumbs fell off when I got here. I swear to God, like I could not be more mortified at the state of my nails on this show right now. It's very embarrassing.
I'm the queen of losing nails.
It's just crazy. Like, I don't know how this even came off my finger. Like, it's insane. It's not like a press-on nail or anything. It was a gel manicure that I gave myself in my own house, and it just peeled off like it was peel-off nail polish. Oh, my God, I'm pissed. Anyway, enough about that. Kim from Huntington wants to talk about administration. What's going on, Kim? Save us. Save me from these nails.
Oh, goodness. Well, I got some crazy for you.
Ooh, yes.
I'm a special ed teacher, and I currently am working with 6-year-olds, and I have a child next door in my classroom who is 12, and he's constantly outside my room screaming his head off ballistically now, slamming things, hitting walls, tearing down my bulletin board, which of course takes hours upon hours to build.
I mean, yeah.
And so frustrating, and we put a lot of time and effort in just like trying to keep care of my kids and whatnot, but my administration believes that it's appropriate, and they like to hand him an iPad and reinforce him being on the floor constantly and think that I'm nuts for being like wanting him to be like
That's insane. Wait, okay, so the place you work for is encouraging this, not like the parents? They're like, no, throw them on an iPad?
Oh, no, it's the administration. The principal of the school thinks that it's appropriate, as well as, like, we have behaviorists who are supposed to be, like, managing behavior.
Yeah. Oh, my God, this is kind of juicy.
Oh, yeah. So instead of actually dealing with him, and because they don't want to keep him in his own classroom because he's too disruptive, so they decide to put him in my classroom, screaming his head off blissfully, slamming on my door, knocking on the glass that I swear is going to break one day with my 6-year-old. They're like, oh, it's totally fine. Let me just run around screaming, hitting walls, and we're just going to give him an iPad and say, good job, guy.
I mean, that's nuts. Oh my God. Do you know if because I know an iPad is like it's like a hot button issue. It's like how much time can these kids have like spend with their iPad? How much time can they like spend on the computer and whatever? Like it's always an issue at home, like just with parents. Do you know if like the kids' parents are cool with just shutting them up with an iPad? I mean, I would be as a parent. I would be like, yeah, take the iPad, like get out of my face. But I wonder, like some parents don't like that.
So with his parents, supposedly they don't actually know what is happening in school.
This is my worst fear. Oh my God.
But like, oh my God, it's awful. My education's terrible. But they decided that we're just not going to share this information with them. Instead, we're just going to like just shut him up. And then if he takes the iPad and hits someone over the head with it, who cares? Like, and the parents just don't need to know. So they think their kid's getting like an education, and he is instead walking down our hallway screaming his head off and hitting everything.
Oh my God, this is so scandalous. So what do people say? People are just like, oh yeah, whatever. We're just gonna let all this happen. I mean, honestly, like, what do you even do in this situation? I wouldn't even know. Like, do you just complain? Like, do you just like ignore it? I mean, I have no idea what I would do in your situation.
So it's been really difficult because all of us teachers are like super pissed because our kids like make walk to go to the bathroom or like go down the hallway, and like I can't even exit my classroom door. Plus now he's like banging on the door. Damn. So I've now just had to lock it because all of my kids are like freaking out. They're 6 years old. This giant, because you know 12-year-olds huge to them.
Right, of course.
Like, this kid's gonna kill me, and they're freaking out. So it's basically like trying to corral them like all day long, and like, oh my God, we have to like put them away so they don't see like what's happening. But like he's screaming, so it's so difficult trying to like block their hearing of it.
Yeah.
And all of us teachers have like complained to the administration, and they refuse to do nothing. I swear there's like they have something on, like the parents have something on them or whatever, or
yeah, like maybe there's maybe there's money involved. Like that's always when I hear something like this, I'm like, oh, the parents just like threw a bunch of money at the school, and they're just like, you know, watch this kid from the hours of 9 to 3, like do whatever you need to do to get this kid and do whatever. But that's fucking crazy. Like I feel like somebody like that, somebody who's just gonna like disregard the rules and do whatever and blah blah blah, especially at a place where they're, you know, boasting about this experience or whatever, this kind of education. It's like, how do you get away with that? That's so nuts. Damn, the school system's crazy. The school system school system is insane. Kim, I wish you luck with that, because what the fuck? That sounds horrible. I hope that it gets better for you. I hope that somebody catches these people who are just neglecting these children. What the fuck? Like, that's what that sounds like to me. Oh my God, Kim. I'll be thinking about you. Keep me posted if anything new happens.
Keep all the prayers and take a couple of shots because it's needed.
Absolutely it is. Good luck at school tomorrow, Monday. Oh my God. Bye, Kim. Wow, holy shit. Again, the teacher stories are some of the stories that are just the most fucking insane. I can't even deal with it. But let's hit a quick break, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into our last segment and the voicemails. All right, and welcome back to On the Other Line. Before we get into our last segment, last call, I did a quick little peruse on Twitter to see what's going on with the Grammys. The Grammys are on right now as well. God, it's just like, the Grammys should have happened in January. They were pushed because of COVID. Now they're happening today. I believe this is the end of award season, award show season, which, oh my God, Gia, we didn't even talk about Will Smith.
Oh yeah,
I can't even believe, not that I want to, I'm so fucking sick of talking about it, honestly, but I can't believe how lucky we were to be out of here by the time that shit was happening. Like,
yes, that is so true.
If that was happening, like if that happened within the first hour of the Oscars and I was doing this shit and didn't see that live,
actually though, that would have been great content if we got like a live reaction.
True, that's true. But oh my God, though, I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. But yes, the Grammys are going on right now, and so far it seems like everything is, you know, relatively boring. It looks like Lil Nas X did a medley of his songs, which I love. I'll have to go back and watch that. But I'm laughing so hard about right now, there's about 100 articles, started off being written by Rolling Stone. Now a bunch of other outlets are picking it up, that the BTS guys were there and they like went full James Bond. That's what they're saying. But they also, one of the guys from BTS was flirting with Olivia Rodrigo, and there's pictures of him like whispering in her ear.
Oh yeah, I literally just saw that when I was scrolling through Twitter. I was confused if it was like a performance thing or if it was just happening.
I have no idea, but that's incredible.
I'm gonna have to rewatch or something. I mean, I don't really care about the Grammys until it's like the final like 5 awards.
Totally, anyways. Yeah, totally. I mean, same with the Oscars. Like most of the awards are like, oh, whatever. And you know, Taylor Swift's not there, so I don't really care. Or as far as I can see, she's not there, so I don't really care about that. But Olivia Rodrigo won for driver's license, it looks like, for Song of the Year. So congrats to her. Love that. All right, let's get into our last segment, last call. And we will take some voicemails. Gia, let's start off with not that into working. This was probably my favorite one of this whole stack.
Hey Kelly, it's JC from Fort Worth, Texas, and I was calling about work, and I don't know what it was. I have never really been interested in work. I always found easy ways out while I was in high school, so I never really had a real job. I guess what I wanted to say is now that I've gone through college, I've been working for like 3 years, and I'm just not that into it. So what is the youngest age I can retire and still, you know, be able to sustain life, at least here in America? Love ya. Thanks so much. Bye.
This is
I'm dying to know the answer to this
yeah,
question.
like this is a problem that's plagued me for a long time. Like this is something we all need the answer to. We all want to know. And as much as you like I will never talk shit about my current job. I love what I get to do. I love that this is like what I get to do today. I get to put on this show for everybody. It's amazing. But everybody is just like, oh, I don't want to work. Everybody wants to just lay on a beach somewhere. Everybody would rather lay in bed than like do things for your livelihood. Like everybody would rather do something fun than like make money to buy groceries for yourself or like pay your own rent. Everybody wants to do that. So I feel this girl so hard.
I know. My dad retired when he was 60.
Damn.
And I'm like, do I have to work till I'm 60?
Right? That seems just
for so long.
It's unbelievable. And I have like I know both my parents still work, and I know my dad has always like worked in an office, whatever. And I always in my head I'm like, how is everybody doing this? Like how is everybody in the world just going to offices and working for 25 years in the same place, 40 years some places? Like it's insane how people can just work their whole life. I guess that's how it is. I guess that's life, you know? You get up, you go to work, you come home, you do whatever you need to do. But Jesus Christ, it's hard. So yeah, girl, I'm also looking for the answer to this. I feel like so far, like marry somebody rich who does all the work and then you don't have to anymore? Like I feel like there's no other solution. Or, win the lottery, or, become like a super crazy viral TikTok star that you make $1 million every time you post a video. Like I feel like there are little loophole ways around this now, but damn, I need to know as well. I need to know how to stop working. Let's get into drug tests are whack.
Hi, Kelly. My name is, never mind. Oh, God. Anyway, okay, so I called in to talk about work because I personally think that requiring like a drug screen for THC for work is just kind of stupid, because obviously you don't want somebody doing hard drugs and going to work, like especially in an office job. Mm-hmm. But I feel like just because somebody like dabbles in THC like on the weekends or at night or la-di-da-di-da, like I just don't think that it means that they aren't capable of doing their job. Mm-hmm. So yeah, overall I was just going to call in and say that I think drug screening for THC is kind of stupid. Especially because there's no test to decipher whether or not like somebody's high at that time or whatever that is. But all I'm saying and rambling about is that I think that drug tests for THC should not be a thing for work, and that's all I have to say. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, I think that that's all very valid points. I think that if your place of work is still drug testing for weed, like why would you want to work there to begin with? Like I understand that there are places that need to drug test where it's like, I'm sure they drug test to become a doctor. I'm sure they drug test to like do really important things, or like, positions where you're working with people's money, you're working with like medical stuff. Like I understand the need for drug tests for serious drugs and for like, whatever the hell that you don't want in your workplace. But weed, people have to worry about weed, and weed takes the longest to get out of your system. Like it takes 2 weeks for you to even maybe not have weed in your system anymore after you like puffed one bit of a pen or something like that. People are always saying. I have friends who have had to like not smoke weed for a month in anticipation of a drug test for a potential job because it's just because of the weed. I'm like, that's the dumbest shit of all time. So I think that, I don't know. I would never want to be somewhere that they are not hiring me because I smoke weed in my house on the couch at night. That's unbelievable. Let's play the last one real quick. Working Mondays.
Hello, Kelly Keegs.
Hello.
Calling to talk about work. Funny enough, I actually called and left a voicemail on the Because We Got High podcast about like a job and changing, because I quit my job. But then I found one and it's been great.
Fabulous.
Totally great and happy. But I just fucking hate that we're going to have to work every single Monday probably for like the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And that's such a hard pill to swallow. And I just want to say I wish we didn't have to do that. But love your new show and love you, Kelly Keegs, and keep it real. Love you. Bye.
I think I remember this girl. I think this girl called in just to be like, I'm quitting my fucking job. Like, I'm starting off a new life. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to figure it out. So congratulations to you on figuring something out, getting a new job and doing whatever it is. Hopefully it's better than what you were doing before. I think that, yeah, it kind of goes back to the first point that it's terrible to work, especially Mondays. Mondays are horrible. You know, Garfield, nobody likes Mondays. He's the guy who hates Mondays, loves lasagna, whole thing. Just think about him. I don't know. I think that this whole topic is controversial in its own right. I have yet to find somebody who really top to bottom is just like, working is for me and I want to work for the rest of my life. So power to you if you're that kind of person. That's fantastic.
That would be my worst kind of nightmare.
I mean, yeah, I also, I don't think I'd be friends with that person, right?
No.
Like, I just wouldn't even be.
No.
It wouldn't
should
be
give
a
Fridays off in the summer.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah. I feel like a lot of places do that, thankfully, because it's like, what are you going to do? You know, it's so insane. All right, so that wraps it up for today. This was a good episode. I feel like a little distracted. I feel like I am kind of, you know, I'm thrown by the new name. We're going to get there. On the other line, that is what we're dealing with. Next week, the topic is going to be spring break, so get ready for that. We're all excited. Keep an eye out for the graphics. You can call in for your voicemails, and thank you, as always, for watching. Mwah! We'll see you next week.